Hi, my name is Hamin Kinkela from the Mbikudi, and today I wanted to talk to you about recruitment and what do I do to get ready for recruitment. So I thought I'll do this video as an introduction in Mbikudi, but also kind of like showcasing my journey as well using the Community Job Scotland. So if you don't know what the Community Job Scotland, it is an opportunity for business owners and employers to be able to employ someone part-time, someone aged between 16 to 29, a caregiver or someone who has a lack in employment, has not been employed for a while, or someone who has low qualifications or really want to gain skills so that they can get back into employment full-time. Now that's just an introduction of what the Community Job Scotland scheme is. But then I also thought it would be quite interesting to kind of like talk about my journey throughout the recruitment process and also my journey as a recruiter as well. So as you may tell, I'm 30, so I turned 30, and I've been running Mbikudi since I was about 26. Now, when we started Mbikudi, it was such a small team. It was myself, something that started from a passion. So my hair burned when I was young, therefore I had to learn a lot to be able to care for my hair naturally, but also and also learn how to bring the community together. So all that was done and all that came together, which was amazing. Now, everything going quite well. Another challenge that came is actually managing staff as well as creating a good team that can actually lead into a bigger organization as well. So as the organization is growing, your needs will be growing and you will need to be doing a lot more different things in order to work with the community and also stay connected with the people who love what you do. Now, the recruitment process was something that I would say this time around was really good for us because it's a learning curve, and as a business it enables you to be ready for all the health and safety checks, but also to be ready for having someone new, and especially having someone new who may not have all the skills but who's working towards becoming a better version of themselves, but also working towards having the skills that it takes for them to be competitive within the workforce. So what happened, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about how the process was like for me. So this was not my first recruitment session. So this was one of the other ones that we've done. So on one of our first or early on recruitment, where we actually massively went out to recruit people out within our circles of people that we knew, of service users, of people who've used our services before. But we went beyond to really find a good talent to deliver our Naturally You project. So with that one, the recruitment was a good learning curve for myself because we did two things. So the one thing we did is we advertised the job on LinkedIn. And then the second thing we did, we advertised the job not only on our own platform, but also within our community. And we also used the likes of Indeed. But now I wanted to talk to you about how those platforms differs and how it may be different depending on what you are. So the first thing was when we advertised with LinkedIn, what we found was that we found a lot of exciting applications. So what I mean by exciting is applications that look amazing and people who look that they have all the requirement needed for the application. But then as you get on to read the application, you realize that for many people, it seems as if it was just a tick box exercise, as in the CV was already preloaded on LinkedIn, and they just clicked a few buttons and then they applied. So then there was no personal feel to most of the applications. So although the candidate looked and sounded great, but there was no personal feel because you could see and we had the feeling, and it was just not myself because it was all the people who assessed the application had a feel with some of the application. It felt as if it was just a tick box exercise, and the personal feeling and the personal touch was missing from it, and also the relevancy as to why the person really wanted to join the organization. And then on the other side as well, there was an issue of having people who were attracted to the application because they wanted to boost their CV. But you also got the feel that the people were not necessarily the best fit for the organization, because as a small organization, every employee counts, every hour counts, every minute counts, because every employee needs to really pull together to make the organization stronger. And also, especially when you're talking about teams of less than 10 people, so everybody counts, as we all know. Now, when you come into big organization, it's not necessarily that everybody doesn't count, but it means that there are systems in place to make sure that performance is at its highest. So you have an HR team that ensures that productivity and also performance and staff achievement and staff staff satisfaction as well is at the highest. Now, with a smaller team, you may not have that. Therefore, you need to be very tactful into who you're recruiting and also how you're putting your job application and also the job prospect out for the people who can potentially apply to the job within your organization. The other thing, again, is something that is very, very important was that now what we found was that once we now put the application into the community organization that we've worked with in the past, what happened is we genuinely had people who had heard of us, or people who were really interested in what we do, people who really wanted us to be better, to do well, and also wanted to see their skills applied to what we do. And we had the passion for what we did, not the passion for what the post could bring them. And that's something that's very different, and that's something that you need to assess for your organization to find what's the best fit for you. And for us, we found that having people who could understand our journey, who could relate to our journey, and also could bring some kind of a stepping stone towards us, you know, growing as a family, really meant the most for us as well. So then this is what happened on that application specifically. So now with the application with the Community Job Scotland, what we found is this one is completely different. And in terms of what to do and what to think about is that the people who are going to be applying for this may be people who require a lot of assistance and a lot of help as well. And also the process of the Community Job Scotland is a process that may take a while as well. So it can take anywhere between a month or even up to 6 months or even longer in some cases. So really bear in mind what your organization will be needing, not just at the time of your application, but also thinking at the time the person will come in. So think about where your organization will be at that time and what are the needs that will be required, and also what are the skills that you will need to put in place, or what are the things you will need to put in place in order to be able to support a person who's debuting their career, or a person who's starting fresh, or someone who wants to learn something new, and how you can assist them as well. And again, when it comes to the application as well, and also the interview, and it's about making sure that you take the best out of the person, because what we found different in the applications were, like, on the one hand, when it was us recruiting someone to come in and act and be a project manager, so we wanted someone that had project managing experience. So we had individuals who knew what they wanted to do, who knew how they wanted to grow, and who had an idea of what they wanted to bring in the organization. So on the second hand, you have individuals who are full of talent, full of potential, but may not necessarily know how to articulate their potential or how to articulate exactly what they want to do. So your job as the interviewer will be to make sure that the question you ask or the way the application process is done in such a way that it may really bring the best out of those people, and also bring the best out of the applicant, and make sure that the questions are also relevant for your organization. So this is a short video, and I just wanted to talk about the interview stage of how we felt like being part of the Community Job Scotland. And it's a great opportunity for anyone that's been involved, and I think it's a good learning curve, not just for the employees, the potential employees, but also for the employer, because it makes you really think about how you can literally form someone that comes into your workforce, but also ensure that they get the best possible advantages and also the best development while they're working with you in the same time. And I do think it's something that's really worth mentioning, and I think it's something that once you put in place, and I can also see how it could impact and influence other employees within our organization. So yeah, so I hope this is helpful for you, and thank you very much for watching.